John Kelly, if you watch his press conference, he did something that was staggering to me. He used his personal tragedy and the personal tragedies of thousands of Americans who have lost loved ones in the war, and he used them to attack, because that's ultimately what he did. He did two things. He provided cover for Donald Trump, and then he attacked Florida Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, who called out Donald Trump for his callous phone call. Callous phone call to the family of Sergeant LaDavid Johnson. Sergeant LaDavid Johnson was one of the 4 soldiers killed in Niger back in the beginning of this month. And on the way to the airport to greet the remains, or to meet the remains, President Trump called the wife, the widow of Sergeant LaDavid Johnson, and having him on the speakerphone. Frederica Wilson overheard him say, I guess he knew what he signed up for. Essentially, he knew what he was signing up for. He knew what he was getting himself into. And here's the thing that bothers me about this story the most. 2 things. John Kelly using his son, using the imagery of soldiers being packed on ice to pull on the heartstrings of Americans, just to simply protect a man who's incapable of showing empathy. Like, empathy is like such a basic human trait or gift or whatever, I don't know, emotion. It's such a human thing that you can't really teach it. If Donald Trump needs it, you don't have to be a soldier to say consoling words to the family of a fallen soldier. And I guess I know this because how many funerals I've had to attend in my day, how many families I've had to talk to in my day, how many, losses that we've had personally in our family, how many times I had to make that phone call. I mean, it's one thing. When I lost my dad, one thing I realized was that I know one thing for sure is that nobody who's calling me, no one who's stopping by my house has any idea what to say. Nor will any of them have anything to say that's actually going to make the situation better. The only thing that mattered was that they tried. And then obviously now we realize the only other thing that matters is that they don't screw it up and say something ridiculously stupid like, well, I guess he knew what he was getting himself into. So empathy is not something that requires a dissertation and training. You just have to be a basic damn human being. And John Kelly is trying to pull on the heartstrings of all of America, saying, when a soldier is killed, his friends, they wrap his body up in any kind of shroud they can find, and they put him on the helicopter, which is tradition. And, his first stop is to the base where they put him on ice. And then usually his next stop is in Europe. I'm not mocking him. I'm just letting you know how he played it. And in Europe, they put him on ice again. And then he's flown back to Dover Air Force Base, where they attend to the remains and they meticulously. And I'm like, and everybody ate that shit up. I'm sorry. Why are you using that pain that so many American families have had to go through to cover for a child who does not know how to simply say, I may not have the words to say, but I want you to know the American people are proud. Even if, you could freestyle this, Donald Trump. You could freestyle it, right? You could Google, or you can go online and Google, what did Abraham Lincoln say? Matter of fact, let's do that right now. How long would it have taken to Google? I'm going to do it right on my phone. How long would it have taken Abraham Lincoln words of condolences? Let's see how long it would have taken Donald Trump. Abraham Lincoln's condolences in times of grief. First pop-up. Let's pull it up. How long are we? We're not even 60 seconds in. I just have slow connection tonight. Let's pull it up and see how long with it. He wrote, I am now the most miserable man living on the cheerful face of earth. Whether I shall ever be better, I cannot tell. I awfully forebode shall not. To remain as I am is impossible. You don't want to read that because it's just too poetic. But, you know, letter to Mrs. Bigsby. So the first one, okay, so he would have had to swipe twice. The first one wasn't the one. You want the second one. And here it is. Dear Madam, I have been shown the files of the War Department as a statement of the Adjutant General of Massachusetts that you are the mother of 5 sons who have died gloriously in the field of battle. You could have edited that. Dear ma'am, I've been informed by our Justice Department that your husband, Sergeant David Johnson, was killed on the glorious field of battle. You updated the language. I feel how weak and fruitless must be any words of mine which should attempt to beguile you from the grief of a loss so overwhelming, but I cannot refrain from tendering to you. I mean, God, my second search, even if he did not know what to say. I mean, I guess I feel silly because, of course, Donald Trump is not going to be concerned enough to actually, like, he didn't even have to Google it. He honestly could have been like, I saw that one movie one time, Saving Private Ryan, and the president said there was a really good line in that I want to bring. Can you bring me the actual goddamn letter from Abraham Lincoln? Not the Googled version, but bring me the actual damn letter from the archives. This is the most uncurious man I've ever seen in my life. He didn't even care to find his own words. And former General John Kelly, I guess not former, but General John Kelly, retired General John Kelly, is expecting us to feel some type of remorse or empathy and empathize with Donald Trump, who's not capable of showing empathy. He wants us to feel sorry for a man who doesn't give a damn. And he's not even human enough to forget all the flowery words. John Kelly wants us to feel bad for a man who simply can't get on the phone and say, Maisha Johnson, Maisha, this is the president of the United States. We are grieving with you. The American people are behind you. There are no words that I could say. I know there's nothing I can say right now to help you out, to make this situation better. But just know that we are a proud nation. God damn it, how easy would that have been? But yet not to say emotionally it's easy, but the words itself. And the problem is that Donald Trump overheard some words from General Kelly, from retired General Kelly, and could not connect an ounce of empathy to those words. So it's quite possible that my entire suggestion right now would have been futile because he would have taken Abraham Lincoln's words and royally messed them up. That's part one. Part two of what frustrates me about this is John Kelly, not that he's using it politically against Frederica Wilson, because Frederica's a grown woman. She can handle her own. I'm sure she's already done it. If not, she'll do it tomorrow. But it completely disregards the way Maisha Johnson felt. There's a part of communication is what you say, but more importantly than what you say is how the people receive it. And Maisha felt disrespected. The family felt disrespected. And John Kelly gets on stage and uses his family's tragedy to shit on the feelings of people, of family members of the fallen. Yes, he disregarded, he did not even mention the feeling that the family held. The family was heartbroken. The family felt disrespected. And so he completely disregarded that as to say that doesn't matter. What matters is that we should be concerned about the president doing a job that nobody knows how to do, even though chaplains throughout the ages have had to do this forever. I have no remorse for a grown man who's being treated like a goddamn child. And I admire the loyalty of John Kelly, because I mean, John Kelly looks like he would literally fall on the sword for Donald Trump, because I guess he takes his assignment seriously. I mean, I guess that's how you become a general. But at the same time, that is some sadistic shit to be so loyal to a man like Donald Trump that you would try to manipulate the emotions of all of Americans using the death of your son. Sorry if I don't have a little more pity, or if I didn't buy into what he was selling. I couldn't buy into what he was selling, because it required us to completely ignore how Maisha Johnson felt. And please tell me, pray tell me, What's more important, the fact that this was so hard for President Trump, or the fact that the widow of Sergeant LaDavid Johnson got off the phone and said he didn't even remember his name?